Alright, let's talk about Mute. One of the things that I think you should really understand about Mute is he has always been an amazing operator and still is to this day because they haven't really changed him. This being said, I've played Mute for many hours and I have a lot of personal experience on him, and today I'm going to be sharing that experience with you in the form of an operator guide. With that out of the way, I'm going to bring you into a custom game on Oregon and show you the basics of Mute and how you can be playing him better. Alright, so let's talk about the basics of Mute. So one thing that you should understand is Mute is very versatile. That's kind of the name of his entire game. This is a Mute Jammer. You put it down, it activates, and if anything is within the range of a Mute Jammer, which, you know, is probably about like from here to here, then it gets disabled. Any attacker, utility, thermite gadgets, Dokubi calls, lion scans, etc. If you are a defender and you get pinged by an attacker gadget like a lion scan, or you get called by Dokubi, Tri-Fi Jack, whatever it may be, if you step within the radius of this Mute Jammer, it will disable that effect and you can move freely. If you're in a lion scan and you're in a Mute Jammer, you can move around with a lion scan detecting you, and if people try to drone through a Mute Jammer, it will disable drones. It also disables any wall denial like I said previously, and also if a shield operator tries to come in through here, or Finka for that matter, they immediately just can't use their ability, right? Blitz cannot flash people while he's in a Mute Jammer. Finka cannot use her nanoswarms while she's in a Mute Jammer. So that's why you see people playing Mute here a lot when people play Smoke behind a deployable shield, so that when they get Blitz Rush or they get Flores Rush, the Mute Jammer or Mute Jammers can save them pretty efficiently. So there's a lot of different uses for Mute. Like I said, I just listed off like 50 uses for Mute. So overall, like the main thing about Mute is he's very versatile, and if you bring him to any site, you are bound to get a lot of value out of him. Let's talk about his loadout. Obviously, he has a Mute Jammer. I just showed that off. He also has a Shotgun SMG-11 combo. So, Shotgun SMG-11 combo. I've talked about this a lot. I've made smoke guides. So you know that this is a great combo to have because you have the Shotgun 4 sight setup, where you can make holes here. You can make really high holes. You can make rotates, right? And you can make super long angles that watch walls, right? Like there's a bunch of stuff you can do with this shotgun specifically, so having is always good. And then if you have the SMG-11, you can actually have very good gunfights from long distances, not too long, but like long enough you're good at controlling the recoil like this. That was a terrible example. Let me try again. Better. But like, you know, you control the recoil a bit, burst fire, you'll be fine. For secondary utility though, he has the nitro cell. I wouldn't recommend bringing the bulletproof camera. I would only bring the nitro cell because the nitro cell is a almost guaranteed free kill, or it's used as plant denial or entry denial to further slow down the attacker rush if the Mute Jammers weren't enough for you. So always bring the nitro cell. That's personally what I do. In terms of attachments, I'd run flash shot or vertical grip for the SMG-11, and then I'd always have your red dot on your shotgun to make rotates and head holes easier to use without the risk of you accidentally making a rotate when you're trying to make head holes. So that being said, that's pretty much it for the loadout section. Let's talk about tips and tricks that you can do with Mute to actually get better with him. First of all is Mute Jammer placement. Obviously, you don't want to put a Mute Jammer in front of a door like this, because if they break the door, they're going to be able to just easily shoot it and see it right here, right? Also, it's able to be disabled by anything that can disable electronic gadgets, like Twitch, EMP grenades, Thatcher, anything of that nature can disable the Mute Jammer. And if it does disable it, then its effects are nullified, right? So this thing does not disable any EMP devices. In fact, it's the complete opposite, like I just said. So you want to be putting it in places where it can't easily be EMP'd, right? So putting a Mute Jammer here is bad because people can get in this corner and shoot it. They can also just EMP the wall right here. But putting a Mute Jammer like right here, for example, again, because we're trying to cover the shield player right over here, is great because they're not going to sit here and throw an EMP through this wall, right? That's not just going to happen. They're going to try to drone it, and if they do drone it, you have a jammer there, and then once they drone it and they see that it's there, you have ADSs on the wall to be able to catch their EMP grenades, and they also have to throw it into the hallway, which is a lot riskier than, you know, just walking into the hallway and shooting it. So they're not going to be able to EMP it if you put it back here, is what I'm trying to get at here. Also, if you have a place where you know that your Mute Jammers are going to hold, put multiple Mute Jammers there, right? So you can put one right here. This one is pretty easily gettable, right? Because they'll drone throughout the door right here. They'll drone. They'll see this Mute Jammer, and then they won't see the one that's, let's say, behind this corner right here, right? So they'll think, okay, this is the initial Mute Jammer. Once we shoot this, we can run it in with Blitz, or we can run it in with Flores, and then once they try that, there's another Mute Jammer that's here, and they've already wasted utility or a Blitz player coming at here, and they don't realize it, and you get some free kills off of it. So using Mute Jammers to bait other Mute Jammers is extremely viable, especially because you have 4 of them, right? So if you use 2 to bait another, you still have 1 that can deny a drone hole over there, and then 1 that can deny drones over here. Also, you can use it for wall denial. So people like to play Ace, and they'll open this wall that I'm reinforcing right now with an H charge. So what you can do is you just put a mute jammer on the wall as so, and any H charges that get thrown onto this wall will just be disabled until the mute jammer is destroyed, and then it will blow up. So putting a mute jammer right there would not be a terrible idea. And then, like I said, you can use it for drone denial as well. So people will open up this wall right here with petals, and because if you're playing mute, you'll normally have a mute jammer on this drone hole or on this doorway, they'll just send a drone through these head holes. So you can put a mute jammer like right here. This would cover the drone hole, it would cover the head holes, and if they tried to lion scan to be able to head clear from here, right? They tried to lion scan to be able to clear the hallway, they wouldn't be able to because they're in a mute jammer, right? So just good mute jammer there. But be thinking about stuff like that, like where the enemy is going to commonly try to drone or use abilities, and put a mute jammer on the other side of that. I'll give you another good example. Let's say I'm trying to run out of a window, or I'm trying to run out of a door, right? Pretend this is a window that I run out on. Actually, I'll just go find a window for you. Pretend this is a door that I commonly run out on, right? Which, you know, to be fair, kind of is. People will rappel all the way up here. And like me, I'll just run out here and just shoot them. So what you can do if they have a claymore on the door is you can set down a mute jammer on whatever side the claymore's on, and it'll disable the claymore, right? So you don't have to have the mute jammer down before the gadget is placed to be able to disable it. You can disable it once you put the mute jammer down if it's already placed down, if that makes sense. So if there's a claymore right here, I can put a mute jammer down there later so that it disables the claymore, and I can freely just run out
Your location has been compromised
and kill them. So that's another really cool use of mute. But like I said, just using it to disable attacker utility, using it to disable anybody from getting walls, and using it to cover other mute jammers is very good ways of playing mute. Now, in terms of actual playstyle with how you want to play as the actual operator, he is a 3 armor, right? So that means you're going to be sitting on site, and because you also have the SMG-11 combo with the shotgun, and you have 4 mute jammers to set up, in the prep phase, you are just going to be staying on site because you have so much to set up, and because you're a 3 armor, you're going to stay on site for the most of the round anyways. So just don't leave the site as mute. Also, because you have an SMG-11 and a shotgun, you're very limited on what gunfights you can take because they're both short-range to medium-range weapons. So you want to be playing on site, and you want to be playing behind corners, you want to be playing behind deployable shields, you want to be playing on head holes behind reinforcements. There's just, you don't want to be taking risky gunfights like you would be if you were an Alibi or if you were a Jaeger, which means you need to be playing passively, right? So playing passively behind your mute jammers. If you play behind a mute jammer, that means they can't drone you. So they try to drone you, they don't see you because there's a mute jammer there, and you can easily swing it to kill. So using utility and the head holes and environment around you to get kills instead of just trying to swing people like you would with other people is how you want to play mute in terms of like actual play style with the operator, right? Because again, he's a 3 armor, his weapons aren't the best, so you want to be using utility to get you advantageous gunfights, if that makes sense. One last tip with mute is unlike smoke in the sense that you can place all of his gadgets down in the prep phase, and then you don't have to worry about what you do afterwards, right? There's no skill involved in the action phase. So you can go floors across the map and give your roamers a mute jammer so that they can't get droned, and it makes roaming a lot easier for them, and then you can come back to site later. So, you know, really common roam spot is you'll have this hatch closed, you'll have this hatch open, and then you'll have like an Oryx or a Vigil playing upstairs on the 3rd floor on this hatch to deny anybody trying to open up this hatch or play in meeting in general. A lot of people, to counter this, will either open the attic wall and flush him out, or they'll go master side. Either way, you can give this player a mute jammer on one of those doorways or one of those walls to make it a lot harder for them to drone him, which makes it a lot easier for him to hide in corners and waste a lot of time, which is what a roamer is meant to do, right? So giving your teammates mute jammers across the map, or if you want to do it, you can give all 4 of your mute jammers to yourself on a roam. So let's say I'm roaming in meeting, right? I can put a mute jammer on this doorway. I can put a mute jammer on this doorway too, which by the way also covers this wall, and then I can put a mute jammer on this drone hole, and then I can put a mute jammer on this wall, which also covers the doorway, right? I'm out of mute jammers, but you get the idea. Like, I can give all 4 of my mute jammers away, and then now they can't drone me, they can't open these walls, they can't open that wall. If I reinforce the hatch, they can't come above me. If I open this hatch, I can play in meeting and hold anybody that tries to push these head holes or hold anybody that tries to push the box. So again, like I said, the most important thing with mute is he is a versatility powerhouse. This being said, in terms of actual playstyle with him, you never want to do the same thing twice. Part of the cool thing about mute is the mystery around him, right? Because he denies so much intel. They don't know where your mute jammers are. They don't know why your mute jammers are where they are, so they don't know the strat that's behind it. That's why mute is so powerful. In a gun skill meta where information is the one thing that can separate a winning from a losing team, being able to deny that information is very powerful, and that's why I'm making a mute guide, especially now in this current meta. That being said, every single time you play mute, especially if you're going to the same objective, change your setup. And don't even change your setup, change your entire playstyle. If one round you're anchoring is mute and you're using all of it for wall denial and drone denial, the next round roam is mute and you give your roamers some mute jammers, and then the next round switch it up even again, right? So like constantly change your playstyle. The mystery behind mute and the player behind him is why he's such a great operator and why he's so versatile, so you need to be using that to his fullest advantage. With that out of the way, mute is a very simple operator. He just has a lot of utility and a lot of options of what to do with him, but he has a very low skill ceiling and he's very, very easy to learn and easy to get value out of, so there's not much that I really could have talked about in this video. I can't really make an advanced mute guide either because again, there's not much to talk about him, but if y'all want to see an advanced mute guide, I can probably squeeze out some info that you probably did not know, especially if you're a good player. So let me know in the comments if you want that. My name's Alka. If you like this style of video and you want to get better at the game of Rainbow Six Siege, I upload 4 times a week on this channel. You should definitely subscribe. This is the channel for you. Like the video if you liked it. Again, my name's Alka, and I will see you in the next one. Later.